What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I appreciate everyone spending some of their Friday evening with me. The weekend is finally here. Finally, Dolphins football is coming back. Life can get back to normal because I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm going to do when the offseason hits because it's just, man, it's not good. Quickly off the rip, guys, if you're here, smash that like button. If you're new, go ahead, subscribe. Um, guys, for the Patreon members, I will be having an update coming to you guys tonight. I had a conversation with someone connected to Jason Lackenfora, and we got some exclusive info. I'll be dropping that on the Patreon tonight sometime after this episode. If you want to become a patron and get that information, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. You'll also get early access to all my videos, my film study videos before they go live. I'm going to be doing a special video for patrons and YouTube channel members. You can become a YouTube channel member. You will also get access to those videos as well as emojis and badges in the comment section. But I will have some Patreon only exclusive info dropping later tonight. So be out on the lookout for that. If you are a Patreon, that'll be dropping for you guys. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. There was some good news today. Obviously, it's up to this point, there has been no bad news in terms of more names added to the COVID list. The Miami Dolphins are set to take on Zach Wilson and, of course, the New York Jets. I'm just, get the job done one game at a time. We're going to go over new addition to every Friday is we're going to also go over who everyone should be rooting for on well, like we did it last week. We'll do it. We've added it to the Friday show, at least while we're still in the hunt per se. We'll do that and update you guys every week with a nice little neat graphic. So we'll do that today. And then, yeah, we're gonna get into the game preview. Got a ton to talk about. Like I said, we got some good news that came down the pipeline, and I think you know what. I'm not gonna start the show off with a rant. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty here, and we're gonna start off with some good news. Just pulling something up here for later on. Let's do that quickly. I don't really have a huge rant to go on right now. I know, you know, everyone's talking about, the Herbert Mahomes game yesterday. It was a couple of us were still backstage after the show yesterday and we watched it together. It was awesome ending. I mean, it went right for us, right? And I'm just getting sick and tired of the whole, Herbert. Everything Herbert does, Tua's got to be compared to, or whether Tua does something, Herbert's got to be compared to. It's like I'm just ready to, live my life and not. They're asked to do. They're in different situations, being asked to do different things, totally different circumstances. Let's stop lying to ourselves. All right. Um. So. Uh. Yeah, I'm not going to get into any of that. Uh, I'm kind of done. It's just like I'm not going to sit here and talk about Watson and and Tua getting traded week in week out. I'm just going to let things play out. You know what I mean? So um, that's where I'm at. Herbert, any one of these quarterbacks on any team can, it's the NFL. Their season or their career can take a massive hit on any given Sunday. These players are still they're young in terms of where they are developmental wise and overall as NFL players. So just gonna have to let it play out. People need to, just let it. Hey, what if Herbert turns into Marino where he's got all the records and he's got no stats, but Tua turns into Joe Montana, where he doesn't have all the regular season records, but he's got the playoff wins. I mean, you just never know, right? So especially this early in this, you know, infancy stage of their careers, right? Like I said, anything can happen, especially on any given Sunday. So, we'll let their careers play out, man. Not everything has to be a comparison between these guys. So guys have known my stance. I've been saying it like especially a lot lately. I think Burrow, Tua, and Herbert are going to be one of the better quarterback draft classes in recent memory. Now, whether it's on par with the Elway, Kelly, Marino draft class, that remains to be seen. But I think it's going to be a really good draft class when all this is said and done. So everyone trying to get hung up on all these different things, it's like, you know what? Just enjoy it right now, because they're all different styles too. So, just enjoy. If you're a football fan, just enjoy it, man. It is what it is. So anyways, um yeah, let's hop into some of the good news, because we got a lot to go over. Um let's go over. Let's start it out. And before we do, let's just get this out of the way. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. You can also donate through the super chat. Become a Finside the NFL Patreon. Like I said earlier, if you're a Patreon or YouTube channel member, my film studies, Jalen Waddle will be coming when the season's done. And then I'm going to be doing a video that's for channel members and patrons only. So it's going to stay private just to them. It won't even be coming out to everyone else. So I'm going to be doing that sometime in the early new year, early January. So yeah, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. If you want to become a channel member, get those emojis, get the badges next to your name. You can hit that join button next to subscribe down below, different levels to join. Patchvibes.com, use code Finside, and you can save 20% off your order. Everyone knows I always drink out of this tumbler. It's one of my favorite things to drink out of. Keeps it nice and isolated. I got some new gear that should be coming in. I've shown off shirts here before. They're over there in a pile somewhere. Backroomcollection.net. Use code reason to save 10% off your order. They got the canvas game on lock. Check them out. They got a new merino design that's fire. They got Javon Holland canvases, and a Javon Holland signing is going to be coming up. But you can pre-order right now, and you can use that 10% discount code, and you can get 10% off your order. So check them out, backroomcollection.net, and then of course thrivefantasy.com. Use code Finside. Have every dollar up to your first 100 deposited matched by thrivefantasy.com, your number one website in fantasy prop betting. Check them out, thrivefantasy.com. All right, all that out of the way, and shout out to each one of you patrons and each one of you YouTube channel members. I'm going to get a layover like the one you see with Tua. I'm going to get a layover done where it's going to have all of your names. I'm going to update it as you guys come, as you guys go, as channel members and patrons. I'm working on that. So that's what's in the mix. That's going to be what your each episode shout out's going to turn into, is we're going to give you basically a layover screen. So working on that. But you know me, I can't just it's got to look crisp. So working on that, getting that done. What up, Foxon? How you doing, brother? Shout out to Austin. See Logan there, Z-Man, Stevie, what's going on? Crypto. Who else we got here? Bishop Sycamore Finest, Hayden on EM. Topher. Marino's Goat, what's going on, buddy? The Dolphin Don, Jeff Fremont, Mike Favre, Justin. Every time I see your name, Mike, I think of when Ben Stiller tried to mention tried to when he tried to pronounce Brett Favre's name in there's something about Mary. Was it Brett Favre? Chad, what's going on, buddy? MG Taxman, Scotty Joe, Tommy Brinkley, Omar Brown, what's going on, buddy? So yeah, every time Mike Favre, I see that name, I think of there's something about Mary. That's hilarious. What's up, Dylan? How you doing? Okay, let's Dylan Schneck. First time I think I've seen you in the comments, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out. All right, let's get into this. right now. Let's start off with some good news. Like I said, I think we've all put up with enough bad news, especially since that losing streak, right? So let's fix that. What's up, Darth Vader? How you doing? Irving, what's going on? Yeah, Mike Favre. I've heard that my whole life. I didn't even think about that, but now I actually said after I said that and said it out loud, I'm like, man, that sounds so cliche. So now that you've heard that all your life, there you go. Especially as football fans, you know what I mean? I love that movie. People always forget about the Brett Favre cameo and there's something about Mary, but apparently not enough people for you. Um, all right, so the good news. What's going on, Brandon? How you doing? Here is the good news for today. We've got some running back help back. And, Miles Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed are back. So, I mean, you got to wonder how much Duke Johnson are you really going to see because Malcolm Brown was going to be back. So that gives their original, top three guys. We'll see how this all works out. Um, I see those names come back and not Philip Lindsay, and it doesn't move the needle. I still say to myself, oh, so Tua's still going to be throwing for 35 to 45 times a game. So, you know, it would have been nice if it was Miles Gaskin and Philip Lindsay or all three of them. But yeah. So back to the first unit. We started this year off with Ahmed, Gaskin back and Malcolm Brown back practicing. So Duke Johnson, he's probably going to get. I don't see him getting many carries. Let's put it that way. Unless, God forbid, Ahmed and Gaskin and Brown fumble, a few times between them all, or they just can't get it going, and then Duke gets some carries. But, I don't even see them rolling with 4 running backs on game day. Really, I mean, yeah, I guess they could run with 4, but, you know, okay, you know, like, okay, you know, like Lindsey, Waddle, and Holland would have been peak. I mean, I guess this is better than nothing. To me, this still says Tua's gonna be throwing 45 times a game. With Lindsey, at least I know he could maybe get going and take some passes off of shave some passes off to his numbers. But this just tells me, okay, we're throwing 45 times, 43, 45 times. Does it really move the needle? No, but it's good news because we got some guys back who maybe Gaskin has a game. I agree, Topher. That's hilarious. Topher coming with the heat right now. Duke has broke more tackles in his one game than Gaskin's broken. Bro. Hey. The issue with these two guys coming back, and even with Lindsey, is there's no yards after contact with these guys. Like, Gaskin is the top yards after contact guy between him, Ahmed, and Lindsey, and Gaskin averages like 1.2 yards after contact. I think Lindsey on the season is averaging like 0.7. I don't remember what Ahmed's is. So, I mean, that tells you. I mean, like, when you have a bad offensive line, yards after contact matter more because you're going to get hit in the backfield. That's why when people try to tell me, John Taylor, he wouldn't work out here because or the offensive line. Well, Jonathan Taylor is averaging 3 yards after contact right now. So that tells me he's one of the leaders in the NFL in broken tackles. If you can break tackles beyond the line of scrimmage, you can break them. It's not as easy to break them behind the line of scrimmage because you don't have momentum in your legs under you going forward. You're not downhill, but you can still break them behind the line of scrimmage. So it's brutal. When we're like one of the worst teams in yards after contact, and we are the worst team in drops as a receiver unit, 32nd in the NFL. That is like, oh, and yet Tua somehow makes the RPO. Like, I had this conversation with someone earlier. I think people really sleep on running the RPO effectively is hard enough to sustain as your priority, your number one offense. Okay, like that's your base offense. I mean, that's hard enough to run at the professional level. Now, you know how much harder it is to run when you don't have a run game? Like I don't think people really take into context. And you're under the mandate of get it out in 2.3 seconds. I can't even give you 2.5 seconds. Like I think people really don't understand how hard it is to sustain the RPO at the level we have, let alone run it with no run game. Like that's stupid. Like that's and you got an offensive line that couldn't block a bunch of beach balls. I mean, you go figure it out. It's ridiculous. And we lead the league in drops. 31st rushing offense. Like I think we're dead last in the league in yards after contact. Come on. It's ridiculous. Like, did anyone see Herbert running the RPO yesterday? Herbert was struggling to run the RPO yesterday when they're in scoring position. And yet, you know, so with an offensive line that I don't know if anyone watched, but was giving him a nice pocket a lot of the time. Guys like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams making plays. Even Josh Guyton making more plays than anyone not named Jalen Waddle right now. Like, give me a break. So, Gaskin, Ahmed, they're back. Hopefully, they can contribute. Like I said, I'm still expecting Tuba to throw 40 plus times. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, so good to have them back. Offensively, needle move. I wanted to see what Duke Johnson had. You know what I wanted to see what Duke Johnson had? Returning home. I know he's hyped to be back in front of the Miami crowd. He told everyone he'd been waiting for this moment since he was a kid. But show me what this guy has. I want the guy with the passion on the field, man. Show me what that guy's going to give me with the carries in front of the home crowd. Now, that might wear off after one game, but give me that good game. I don't care if it's against the Jets. Do not care. So, yeah, their O-line. Z-Man, I don't want to hear anything ever again about Herbert not having weapons. They had 200 yards rushing the football yesterday. Tua's lucky if he gets half of that. They got 200 yards rushing the football yesterday for Justin Herbert. We averaged like 79 yards a game. They got 131 yards yesterday more than we average per game. I don't want to hear that ever again, bro. You know what we do for a 200-yard game? Jesus. But the problem is, what have I told you? Gaskin is a poor man's Eckler. So you're not going to get Eckler production. He's just a poor man's version of him. So poor man's version, you're going to get less production. It's exactly what Gaskin is. So told y'all. Remember, anyone who's been following me since last year, again, no one in this community was saying this guy was going to win the starting job. It was me. Everyone was like Kalen Balaj or whoever, or what's his face, dude from Jordan Howard or whatever, right? And I'm like, nah, man, this guy's better than them. He won out. So I'm one of the first true believers in Myles Gaskin. But I'll also be the first to tell you he's not a number one running back. The guy's a complimentary back. Like, come on. The only NFL caliber starter we have right now is Phillip Lindsay. The guy's been to a Pro Bowl. And he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. We don't have one guy back. Has Malcolm Brown ever had it? I don't even think. I don't even know. Has Malcolm Brown ever had a 1,000-yard season? I don't think so. Pretty sure he hasn't. Gaskin hasn't. Ahmed hasn't. Like, it's ridiculous. And now you just look at when we get into games, so many situations where we're like, man, if only we had that run game. And if only we could just run this out. But is what it is. Um all right. By the way, I saw Spider-Man today. Dope movie. Go check it out. Continuing on. Um yeah. Continuing on, let's get into the weather for all of you that are going to be heading down to the game. Um so it's going to be humid, partly cloudy, some rain in the afternoon. It's going to be humid, partly cloudy at kickoff. High, it's going to be at 81. It's going to feel like 88. You're going to have 9-mile winds out of the south to southeast, and precipitation is going to be at about 90%. It's going to go down between 14 to 15% between quarter two, quarter three, while the temperature, other than going up and feeling like 89, 1 degree, and then in quarter three going up to about 82, it's going to stay remotely the same. The wind will stay the same as well. The humidity factor at the beginning of the game is 85% too, but by the end of the game, it's going to be 84% humidity factor. It's going to feel like 89. And the precipitation probability is down from 19 at kickoff down to 15 by the time. Guys, if you're going down to the game, be safe, have fun, and make sure the Jets hear just how much they suck. Let them have it. I hope everyone going down to the game, I hope your tailgate is fun. I hope the game is even better and more enjoyable for you than the tailgate. And as usual, stay out of trouble. We don't need no scraps. I ain't trying to see Dolphin fans on these on these Twitter streets coming out in videos scrapping. So, yeah. All right. Now, injury report. Now, the one thing you'll notice is names like Jalen Waddle, who has COVID, is not on this. Jared Dokes is not on this injury report, who also has COVID. Philip Lindsay is not on this, who also has COVID. This is not including COVID. So here is your injury report. Clayton Fledglam, he is questionable. Um, Adam Shaheen is questionable. Austin Jackson is questionable, but he's a full participant today, so he'll be going. Ethan Carter, everyone else is full. Brandon Jones was limited to start the week, as was Hunter Long, but they were full by the end of the week. It looks like Shaheen and Clayton Fledglam are the ones to look at. Obviously, in terms of COVID players like Lindsay and Waddle, because of the new COVID testing protocol where um, you just have to have one single test and a rapid positive within a 24-hour span, and you'll be brought back. They have till 4 p.m. tomorrow. So Waddle and Holland and Lindsay, they have till 4 p.m. Saturday. They have to clear protocols to be able to go. So we'll see how that goes. So obviously, you know, the announcements today of Gaskin and Ahmed, they came out much earlier than 4 o'clock, right? Like the word was already out on the street about an hour prior, and then at 11 a.m. they officially announced it. So that gives you a timeline. We could know by like 11 a.m. So we'll see how that works out. I'm hoping for the best. In terms of the Jets, Fant is doubtful. I saw a tweet from a Jet beat reporter. He said Fant's probably not going to go. Duvernay, Tardif, and then Dan Feeney, two offensive linemen are also questionable, but Feeney practiced today, so he should be good to go, as well as Sheldon Rankins, who's questionable, but he practiced today. Michael Carter, they haven't listed as a center back, but he's supposed to be the running back. He is good to go. Tevin Coleman, good to go. Jonathan Franklin Myers, we'll see what he does. CJ Mosley, he is back. He is good to go. Quinton Williams good to go. So a fairly healthy Jets team minus Elijah Moore is the big one they'll be missing. I mean, they'll be depending on a guy like Braxton Berrios to be making plays for them on Sunday, not only kick returning and punt returning, but also as a receiver. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the COVID list, Jalen Waddle still remains, Lindsey still remains, and Javon Holland still remain on it. They have till 4 p.m. Saturday to clear protocols. So we might know something tomorrow, either by morning or early afternoon, or even by noon. So be be aware tomorrow when you wake up. Make sure you be checking out your social media outlets, man. So if we could get Holland and Waddle back, that'd be huge. I can do without Lindsey because we can win without him, but Holland and Waddle are the guys I want back. So yeah, that oh, Brandon, if all three came back tomorrow, you talk about clutch, brother. Jeez, that would that would be the definition of clutch, my friend. The definition. But we'll see how it works out. But that is your injury report for Friday. That's your last injury report before the game starts until we get our game time updates, right? So there'll be no more coming out this week. All right. Next, let's look up at how these two teams compare heading into this. And then I want to I'll save that for the end. But let's check out how these two teams compare. All right. So when you take a look at the Jets and the Dolphins heading into Week 15, you know, uh, the Dolphins 29th total offense, 22nd are the Jets in offense. Now, passing offense, the Dolphins are 16th. They average about 230 and a half yards per game, whereas the Jets, they're 15th. They average about 237 yards per game. A big thing to keep in mind here, though, when you look at our passing offense statistics, because I brought this up, and I don't think enough people are really, really paying attention to it. Okay, so when Tua returned in Week 6 against the Jaguars, we had the 30th passing offense. We were averaging 191.4 yards per game. When you look at us as a scoring offense, right now we're 25th. We're averaging 19.5 points per game. Heading into Week 6 when Tua returned, we averaged 15.8 points per game, which was 31st. So we've gone up 6 spots and almost 4 whole points. You look at third down percentage. We're the 9th third down offense in the NFL, as you can see there, 41.9%. Heading into Week 6, we were the 25th. We were at 35.4%. So we've gone up almost, we've gone up about 6.5 points since Tua's come back. So you're seeing the impact to the offense. But so rushing offense, we are 31st, 79.2 yards per game. They are 30th, 84.2 yards per game. You see how 31st and 30 still have like 5 yards between them? That's crazy. Scoring offense, like I just mentioned, we're 25th, 19.5. They're 29th, 17.4. You look at sacks allowed, we are tied for 19th at 31st. They're tied for 26. Sorry, they are at 26. I apologize. With 36. Third down offense, the Dolphins converted a clip of 41.9%. They're the 9th best third down offense in the NFL. The Jets are the 26th best 20th best third down offense in the NFL at 38.4%. When you look at total defense, the Dolphins, they're 22nd. They allow about 358.4 yards per game. The Jets are 31st. They allow 392.8 yards per game. In terms of passing defense, the Miami Dolphins are the 28th passing defense, allowing 254.5 yards per game. And we're going up against the 27th pass defense, who allow 254 yards per game, who are the Jets. So it's a battle of the bad pass defenses, but rushing defense is where the difference is. I mean, you look at this. They allow 103.8 yards per game to the Dolphins for the eighth best rushing defense in the NFL. The Jets allow 138.8 yards per game, 35 more yards. They are the 29th best rushing defense in the NFL. Scoring defense wise, the Dolphins are 13th. They allowed 22.6 points per game. You remember we were allowing over 28 at one point. We were like 13th in the NFL. They are 32nd. They allow 30.5 points per game. Do the Jets. The Dolphins are tied for 13 in sacks with 31. Jets are tied for 15th with 30. Third down defense, the Dolphins are 28th at 43.7% clip they allow teams to convert at, while the Jets are 24th. They allow teams to convert at a 43.0% clip. In terms of takeaways and giveaways, the Dolphins are 20th in takeaways with 10. They're also 20th in giveaways with 21. The Jets are 31st in takeaways and 31st in giveaways with 9 takeaways to 25 giveaways. So you look at it, pretty even in a few categories. Stack up comparably for sure in a few categories. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out this Sunday. I still think we should give them the business. I really do. All right, let's get into my keys to victory for this game on Sunday. Let me take a set here. All right, let's start off with the offensive keys. And for me, DVP and Gasecki must step up if Jalen Waddle is not out. I mean, you look at Mike Gesicki, the guy's struggling right now. I mean, what else can you really say about the player? When you go back to the Baltimore game, right? And you look at it, he was targeted 6 times in the Baltimore game, 0 receptions. He was targeted 5 times against the Jets. He had 5 receptions for 50 yards. Targeted 3 times for 3 receptions and 17 yards against Carolina. Targeted 10 times for 7 receptions for only 46 yards. Mike Gesicki has not scored a touchdown since week 7 against Atlanta. He has not broken the 100-yard mark but once this season, and he has not got over 75 yards in a game since, again, when he had 85 against Atlanta. So you look at Jacksonville and Atlanta, it looks like he was coming on, right? He had 200 yards and a touchdown over those 2 games um, on what? He had 15 receptions on 17 targets. He was averaging over like 13 yards a reception during that 2-game span. We thought he was coming on. And Gesicki has totally kind of taken a little bit of a nosedive. So Gesicki is definitely going to have to step up. Now, Devontae Parker is going to have to step up by staying healthy. And he's going to have to contribute, and he's going to be called upon this weekend if Waddle is out. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he put up 5 receptions on 5 targets for 62 yards last week. But again, a guy, because of injury now, we haven't got a score from him since week 4 against Indianapolis, and it was his only score of the whole season. So we need some production here. I mean, right now, he's averaging 13 yards per catch, 30 receptions on 47 targets for 389 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, what is this? I need better than this. And we need production. Because of injury, he's already got 3 seasons under his belt, if you include this one, where he only had one touchdown. 2018 and 2017, he only had 1 touchdown each year because of injuries on 24 receptions and 57 receptions, respectively. So I'm going to need, he had 57 receptions in 2017 for 1 touchdown. But you look at 2019, where he had his 1,000-yard, 1,200-yard season, he only had 72 receptions. So, 15 receptions, not equal to 8 touchdowns. It's just the touchdown production needs to get up from Devontae Parker, and we need him to contribute. No other way around it. You're gonna have to play disciplined, and you're gonna have to protect the football. You can't be giving them, whether it's Zach Wilson or whoever. You know, we can't be giving away extra drives. We're gonna be relying on our defense to get the job done. That's just a fact. So don't put more wear and tear, unnecessary wear and tear on the defense. Just be efficient, punch the ball in, and don't turn it over. And enough with the penalties. And I'm looking at guys like, oh, I don't know, Austin Jackson. So, we always take these bad penalties on a second down that makes it third and long on a key drive, or we take him, better yet, we take him in the red zone all the time. But, I mean, gonna have to be better in terms of discipline. You look at it as it stands right now. I just, I mean, what we've got 21 penalties so far this season. Austin Jackson has 4, Gesicki has 4, Eichenberg has 4, Hunt has 3, Jesse Davis has 2. So stop, okay? You already can't protect the quarterback. It's really bad when you start killing drives and being the reason why we stall out. So play discipline with the football and protect the football. Find a way to run the ball. Oh, shut out. Oh, sorry. I missed that. I got a donation here. Shout out to Florida Born. Appreciate your reason, all you do for the Finns community. Godfather of the Dolphins. Appreciate you, Florida Born. It was good talking to you backstage yesterday, bro. Always a good time, man. Love me some Florida Born Kentucky grown. He's a good dude. Find a way to run the football. Listen, we were talking about how, right now Gaskin averages 1.2 yards after of contact per carry. Lindsey 0.7 yards. You're gonna have to find a way. Like, come on. All right, we already went over this. All right, this is the 29th rushing defense in the NFL. They allow 138.8 yards per game. If you come out with another 52-yard performance that you did last time, or you average your 79.2 yards per game, there's no again, listen. Against a team that allows 138, let's round up, 140 yards per game, is it so much to ask for 100 yards? Is it really that much? I'm asking for what? If we want 40 yards, but let's be specific for all the people out there. I'm asking for 100 yards. They allow 138.8. So I'm asking for 38.8 yards less than what they average allowing a game. Is that too much? Is that too much? Ask me. Run the ball. Gaskin and Ahmed are back. Run the ball. Find a way. I don't need excuses. I need results. And I need you to help the young quarterback out who is going to be without his number one weapon and really the only consistent and true weapon we have, because Gesicki's disappeared. Devontae Parker's just getting back. And those are the only other 2 guys you can consider weapons. Hollins isn't consistent enough. Isaiah Ford isn't consistent enough. Durham Smythe isn't consistent enough. The list goes on. Okay? They're all like the offensive line. Inconsistency galore. So run the ball. Do your quarterback a favor. Run the football. There's no excuse. I'm asking for 38.8 yards less than what they allow. If you can't give me that, we got an issue. Stoodsville has no business being an offensive coordinator if he cannot produce 100 yards against a team allowing 138.8 yards per game, especially if he's a run specialist. If he can't give me that, then I'm sorry. Maybe you need to go put in your application at a Wingstop or something. So find a way to run the ball. 3 keys. DVP and Gesicki must step up. It's about damn time. Play discipline and protect the football and find a way to run the football. Now, my defensive keys for all y'all, especially now that Michael Carter is back. You're going to have to force Zach Wilson into some mistakes here, okay? I mean, what else do you want me to tell you right now? This is a guy who he already has 11 interceptions on the season in 9 starts. So the guy's averaging over an interception per game right now. If you actually want to really dive into the, I guess, analytics of Zach Wilson, Zach Wilson, his interception percentage right now is pretty not good. Right now, his interception percentage is 3.9. Tua, and just for comparison, I know people are saying, "Oh, Tua at his peak this year was, I believe, at 3.1%." But since then, if I bring it up, let me just bring it up here. His yeah, here it is. His interception percentage right now is Tua's interception percentage is 2.2. He's driven his down big time. So Tua's interception is 2.2. His interception percentage is 2.2. That means on 2.2% of his passes, he throws an interception. Zach Wilson on 3.9% of his passes. So almost 4% of his passes, he's throwing an interception right now. So the turnovers are going to be there. I mean, let's start calling it what it is. New England in week 2 got 4 interceptions against him. Is it unrealistic that we can't do that? And what's crazy is Zach Wilson has thrown 6 touchdowns this year, yet he's only thrown touchdowns in 3 games. In 3 of his 9 starts, he threw 2 touchdowns against Carolina, 2 against Tennessee, and 2 against Philadelphia. So every other team, New England, Denver, Atlanta, New England again, Houston, and New Orleans have all shut Zach Wilson out, and he has not thrown a touchdown against them. So, yeah, the interceptions are going to be there. The mistakes are going to be there. Jump all over them. Next thing is you're going to have to do a better job of containing Michael Carter. You know, if you go back and watch my first preview between these two teams when they faced off this year, containing Michael Carter was one of my keys, right, for our defense, and he got going early on against us. I mean, you know, if it wasn't for an injury, Michael Carter was well on his way to over 100 yards. You know, he averaged 7 yards a carry against us. He had 9 attempts for 63 yards. The closest he's even come to that this season was week 2 against New England. He averaged 5.4 yards per game. And then after that, Cincinnati in week 8, he averaged 5.1 yards per carry. He averaged 7 yards per carry against us. Even better, if you go into his contact numbers, because we were talking about contact, right? He had over 7 yards of contact. He had 7.22 yards of contact on only yards after contact. So, sorry, my bad. He had 65 yards after contact. He actually averaged 7.22. Well, he averages 3 on the season, but he actually averaged 7.22 yards after contact. I mean, so the guy finished with 63 yards, but 65 yards came after contact. So even that tells you, even when he took losses on running the ball, he was still breaking contact. Obviously, the 39-yard run is what propped up his numbers too, right? So you're gonna have to do a much better job of containing Micah Carter than you did last time. And then, quite simply, we need a Week 11 pressure performance or better this week, especially since if we get that a repeat of that performance and it's not Flacco, but instead it's against Zach Wilson, it is going to be beautiful for us Dolphin fans, and as ugly as it couldn't be for the Jets. But if you remember that week, we had 24 pressures. Ogba had 5, and Ginkgo had 3, Phillips had 2, Wilkins had 2, Baker had 2, Rowe had 2, a bunch of guys had 1. We had 24 pressure. We had 2 sacks, 6 hits, 16 hurries against them last time. So if we can hover in the mid 20s with a couple of sacks, we did that to Flacco, a seasoned veteran. What could we do to Zach Wilson? I said make mistakes. You talk about the mistakes that'll be made. Shout out to Fred for the $4.99 super sticker. Appreciate you. Ernesto, no, Michael Carter is not on IR. He was activated this week, and Robert Saleh said he expects Michael Carter to have a significant role against the Dolphins this week. So Elijah Moore is who's on IR. They activated Michael Carter this week, and they said they expect him to have a quote-unquote significant role. So Michael Carter will be back. So yeah, for Zach Wilson, the mistakes, they will present themselves. Do a better job of containing Michael Carter than you did in Week 11, and repeat your Week 11 pressure performance, or get better. If you get better, oh my God, we're all going to be laughing our faces off, and I can't wait to stream if that's what the case is going to be. Not even lying. So my matchup to watch is I'm going to go the classic quarterback versus quarterback this week. Topher, you can become a member. If you look below, there's a join button right next to subscribe. Or if you go in the description box underneath, if you click download more so you can see the description of the video, I have a direct link that'll take you to join and become a YouTube channel member. And there's also a link there for the Patreon. All right. It's in the description. And there's also the join button right next to the subscribe button. That's how you can become a member. All right. I'm gonna go classic versus quarterback. I'm gonna go classic quarterback versus quarterback. Let's do this. I'm gonna go Zach versus Tua. And I mean I could have done Zach against our defense, but let's go quarterback versus quarterback here, okay? And when you dive into the numbers, this is what's so funny. I mean, Tua blows including Trevor Lawrence. He blows a lot of these guys out of the water. I mean, Mac Jones is the only one you can make a case, and the guy's being coddled the way he's being coddled by Belichick and them right now. But let me bring up here for a sec. Okay, if I go concept, if I go clean, I want to give you guys some clean numbers here. Okay, so shout out to Sonia Cruz for the $25 donation. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. And let's see if there's a message from Sonia Cruz who donated through PayPal. Appreciate that. Um, there is no message, but I will say this to you, Sonia. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for showing some love, just like Fred and everyone else who's donated tonight too already. Florida Born and everyone, all my Patreons, all my channel members. So let's jump into this. Okay, so let's start off with Zach Wilson. Okay, so Zach Wilson right now, he's 28. He's 285 for 322. He's got a 56.1 completion percentage. He's thrown for 1,741 yards. The most he's thrown for in a game was 297 yards when he was 21 of 34 for 2 touchdowns and an interception against Tennessee. Other than that, he hasn't thrown for more than 226. You look at his yards per attempt right now, he's averaging about 6.1 yards per attempt. His adjusted completion percentage, when you add in the drops, because he suffered 23 drops, is actually 68.8. So he's been sacked. He's also been sacked 29 times, and his average time to throw is 3.02 seconds. He also has a NFL passer rating of 65.3. Now, when you look at him when he is in a clean pocket or when he's pressured, when Zach Wilson is kept clean, which has been 62.4% of his dropbacks, he's got a 68 completion percentage. He's thrown for 1,299 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, and he averages about 6.6 yards per attempt. When he's under pressure, he's thrown for 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 442 yards, and he has a completion percentage of 29.5 when he's under pressure. He's 26 of 88 when he's under pressure. When he's not blitzed, he's 128 of 214 for 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 1,394 yards. When he is blitzed, he's 32 of 71 for 45.1 completion percentage. Now, the difference between under pressure and blitzed is even if they blitz, if they pick it up, right? If they pick up a blitz, they can still keep you clean. So that's why when blitzed and under pressure are different numbers. So he averages about 4.9 yards per attempt when he's blitzed. Like, just a disaster. Like, boy, God. If you were to adjust with drops, that under pressure percentage would go from 29.5 to about 44%. His when blitz would jump, if you include drops, from 45.1 to 61.5. So, yeah, and he's actually he's actually taken out of his 29 after his 29 sacks, 22 of them are when he's not blitzed. So and when he's blitzed, he still has an average time to throw of 2.89 seconds. So that's still like really, really good. Now, also to dive further into the analytics, right now he has a touchdown percentage, does Zach Wilson, of 2.1% and an interception percentage of 3.9%. His QBR is 24.1, and he's averaging about 193.4 yards per game. He has 6.1 yards per attempt and 4.8 air yards per attempt. All right. Now, and he's getting about 10.9 yards after the catch. So let's dive in and compare him to where Tua Tagovailoa is. Now, rattling off just the normal those passing numbers, and then we'll get into the pressure numbers, and then we'll get into the analytic a little deeper into the analytics form. So right now, as of today, Tua Tagovailoa is 195 of 275 for a 70.9 completion percentage on the season. He's thrown for 1,945 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And remember, he has also, like Zach Wilson, only had snaps in 9 games. And don't forget, one of those was against Buffalo, where he only had 4 attempts. So really, and then Baltimore, he only had 13 attempts because he played half the game. So really, he's killing Zach Wilson, and he has only played what 7.6 games if you include the half against Baltimore and then his 6 dropbacks against Buffalo. 7.6 games he's played. All right. Now, his yards per attempt is 7.1. His average depth of target is 6.9. His adjusted completion percentage is 79%. He has 12 drops against him. Okay, so and now when we go into passing pressure, when kept clean, Tua has the highest completion percentage of any quarterback in the NFL right now at 77.3%. He averages 7 yards per attempt. His average depth of target is 6.5 yards. His adjusted completion percentage is actually 82.6% because he suffered 8 drops. He's thrown 10 touchdowns and 1 interception when he's kept clean for 1,380 yards. Under pressure, he has a 54.5 completion percentage. When you adjust it, it's actually a 68.7 because he's suffered 4 drops. His yards per attempt is actually 7.3 under pressure. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and his average depth of target under pressure is actually 8 yards. When he's not blitzed, he has a completion percentage of 72.3. He's thrown for 1,509 yards. He has yards per attempt of 7.7, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, adjusted completion percentage of 81.6 because he suffered 10 drops when he's not been blitzed. And his average depth of target when he's not blitzed is 7.5 yards. When he is blitzed, he's 54 of 80 for 67.5%, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 436 yards. He also threw 1,509 when he wasn't blitzed, if I didn't mention it. But 436 yards when he is blitzed. Average depth of target is about 5.5 yards, and his adjusted completion percentage is 72.7%. And when you look at Tua Tagovailoa, his for this season, his touchdown percentage is 4.4%, and his interception percentage is 2.2%. It was only 1.7%, but it is for a career under 2. It's 1.9. For people curious, his career touchdown percent is 4.1. His career interception percentage 1.9. When you look at Tua this year, his yards per attempt 7.1 yards. His average air yards per attempt is actually 7 yards, and yards after contact, yards after catch is 10. And he's averaging about 216.1 yards per game. He has a quarterback rating of 96.1 and a QBR of 57.8. So I'm taking Tua all day when we put these two up against each other. It's not even with the lack of weapons, Tua is just, quite frankly, when you break it down, in a different stratosphere than Zach Wilson right now. I mean, is that even arguable? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's arguable at all. So that's my matchup to watch: Zach Wilson, Tua Tagovailoa. And then my prediction for this weekend. My prediction is as follows. I believe the Dolphins are going to win 26-10. You kind of, they're 18 and 14 all time in games following a bye. But they've also won 4 straight against the Jets, and 9 of their 11 past meetings with the Jets. So the odds are in their favor right now. That's just what it is. So I am going to take the Miami Dolphins 26-10. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a rough day for Zach Wilson, and I think the only reason they scored a touchdown is Michael Carter. So they're going up against a really efficient quarterback right now. I mean, right now Tua Tagovailoa's completion percentage, yards per attempt, and quarterback rating are all higher than his rookie year. I mean, the guy's becoming efficient right in front of our eyes. And since week 6, his 73 completion percentage leads the NFL. His 98.9 passer rating is 7th. His 11 passing TDs are tied for 11th, and his 1,730 yards, passing yards, are 15th in that span. So Tua, he's gonna have an efficient game, and I think Zach Wilson will be the Jets' downfall tomorrow. I really do. Um. Okay. One thing I wanted to show you guys too that I thought was quite interesting. Um. Check this out. Guys, look at the difference between week 1 to 8 to where this team is right now. I want to show this to you guys. Look at this. From week 1 to 8, the Dolphins in point margin, they were minus 95, meaning they'd given up 95 more points than they'd scored. Now they're plus 61 from weeks 9 to 14. That's 4th. Turnover margin, they were minus 4, meaning then they've given away the ball 4 more times than they'd taken it away. That was 23rd. Now they've got more takeaways than giveaways from between week 9 to 14, which is 8th. They've got 4. Look at the time of possession. 27-57, which was 28th, to now they're 7th in the NFL, 32 and 21. And with no run game. With no run game. Like, Tua's doing it. 7th in the NFL from weeks 9 to 14 in time of possession. That's ridiculous. Offensive rankings. Look at fourth quarter passing. We're 4th in the NFL in the last since week 9 to 14. We're 6th in fourth quarter scoring. 8th in third down offense. 10th in red zone offense. 12th in passer rating. 12th in passing offense. 16th in scoring offense. 22nd total offense from week 9 to 14. And look at the jumps up. These guys were 18th in fourth quarter pass. And Brissett impacted a lot of these numbers. Between weeks 1 to 8, how many games of those were started by Jacoby Brissett? The weeks 9 to 14 are all Tua. Minus what, a half? Yeah, you got the Houston game, which we only put up 17 points on. That Brissett started, and then you got the half. So 1.5 of those games. But look at how many games in weeks 1 through 8 are all Brissett. Right? So you look at the numbers and it's just huge. Look at the jumps. Like, this team was 30th in total offense. They've been 22nd in the span. 28th scoring offense. Now they're 16th in the span. 25th passing offense from weeks 1 through 8 to now they're the 12th in this 5-week win span. Look at passer rating in the 5-week span. Huge. And then defensively, this is where it's really stepped up. Look at this. Look at this. The defense from week 9 to 14. First in red zone defense. First in sacks. Second in opponent passer rating. Second in total defense. Third in scoring defense. Third in yards allowed per play. Fourth in rushing defense. Fifth in passing defense. Fifth in takeaways. Sixth in third down defense. Good God. What a jump. Really starts to put things into perspective. How good the defense has been playing and how the offense has started to turn it around. Unbelievable. That's crazy, man. And then special teams, they've gone up in everything except field goals, let's be honest. That's why they let the field goals off. But Pilardi's been decent, been good punting the ball in the winning streak, and obviously much more improved. But you look at the offense and the defense, night and day to what they were. It's night and day. And the thing is, the defense, they always had it in them. The offense, so weeks 1 through 8, we had to put up with Jacoby Brissett. And this is with no Will Fuller. This is with no running game. This is with no threat of taking out defenses over the top. And they're doing this. Think about that. I just thought that was super, super impressive. And then heading in to this week end, besides the Miami Dolphins, who should you be rooting for? Well, you're going to root for the Browns over the Raiders because that'll drive the Raiders down out of contention. Now, I know people are saying, well, you can root for the Raiders, but that puts the Raiders right back in the thick of things and they have the tiebreaker with us. The Browns don't have the tiebreaker with us. So I'll take the Browns over the Raiders. Patriots over the Colts. Yep, we got to vote. We got to root for the Colts to go down because they're one of our. They got the tiebreaker over us, and they're one of the teams we have to get past to get into a wild card position. Obviously the Panthers over the Bills. Titans over the Steelers. That tie that the Steelers have right now. That's 6-6-1. We need it to be 6-7-1. And then if we take care of business, that knocks them down below us. So Titans over the Steelers. And then obviously the Packers over the Ravens. I see that Lamar Jackson is questionable. And so yeah. Those are the teams you should be rooting for this week. To help the Miami Dolphins playoff chances. Yeah. Check it out. Because I know people just plant themselves in front of that TV, not just for the Dolphins game. So that's who you should be rooting for this weekend. Storm Warriors, Cincinnati over Denver. Yeah, I didn't put Cincinnati over Denver here because both teams are 7-6. Fins up, Laura. Both teams are 7-6, and whoever wins hurts us. We should actually be rooting for a tie. In Cincinnati and Denver, you should actually be rooting for a tie. I could have put that here, but whatever. I was like, we actually got to be rooting for a tie. So this is the rooting guide for teams that you wanting to win. So, yeah. Browns, Patriots, Panthers, Titans, Packers. I saw someone saying Raiders over Browns today, but no, you want the Raiders to lose. They have the tiebreaker over us. We don't need that nonsense at all. And then, guys, you already know what time it is. I don't gotta say it. The Jabroni of the week, baby. And this week's Jabroni of the week isn't even a real person. I kind of gave a hint away this week. Man, it's COVID. I mean, name a bigger jabroni right now. Waddle out, Holland out, Lindsay out. COVID is the jabroni of the week. It hit us hard. It hit us bad this week. So, quite simply, I mean, do we really need an explanation? The jabroni of the week, without a doubt, is COVID. It hurts. No Jalen Waddle. No Javon Holland. We don't get to see. We do not get to see Philip Lindsay potentially this week again. But hey, gave us back Gaskin and Ahmed, right? And not even just for us, for the NFL. Look at how many great players are missing games this weekend. No, they've pushed games back to Monday night and Tuesday now. The Saturday games have been pushed back, in case people didn't know. So COVID is running rampant through everyone's lives, through the NFL. So definitely the jabroni of the week is COVID. Appreciate you, Laura. Thank you very much. So yeah, COVID, without a shadow of a doubt, you are my jabroni of the week. Urban Meyer is not my coach, K-Jax. He does not affect me. COVID affects my team on Sunday. And I don't want to. The guy, it's already bad enough that the guy got fired at midnight and he beat us. Now I got to say the jabroni of the week has one of his 2 NFL wins against us. I'm not doing that to us, man. We've got enough pain as Dolphin fans. So, guys, here's the deal. I am going to be back on Sunday. I will be back. The game starts at 1. I'll try and be live for about 12:30, 12:35, and I'll be live reacting to that game. I will open it up pregame, at halftime, and after the game to all of you guys, so we can get your predictions pregame, get your thoughts at half, and then obviously we'll do postgame thoughts. But guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope each and every one of you have a fantastic weekend. I love you all. You already know what time it is. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. Fins up all day, every day, baby.